Welcome to Startup Secrets. This is a series where Barry and I get to meet the founders of a range of startup ventures and hear their stories and find out what makes them a very special entrepreneur. Today, we're delighted to meet Cormac Riordan, co-founder and CEO of Banba. Cormac has a wealth of knowledge and experience in the financial world of investments and treasury. In February 2020, Cormac and his team launched a mobile app which allows you to order food and drinks from your phone. This is a very timely and exciting venture, so we'd love to hear why and how Cormac set about creating this practical solution. Cormac, you're very welcome to Startup Secrets.
Thanks very much, Mike. Great to be here. And Barry, thank you very much for having me on.
Cormac, my opening question is very simply, who is Cormac Riordan?
I graduated from CIT with a Bachelor of Business. I think I always wanted to do something for myself, but I just wasn't sure what that was. I traveled for years at Thailand, Australia, New Zealand. While in Australia, I continued doing some work in hospitality. I worked in events over there. Whilst I had been in college, I worked in bars around Cork for most of my time in college, which I loved. I had considered going into that industry myself. I was thinking about I wouldn't mind working in bars and hospitality myself. I had an interest in finance. From the outside in, I would have been, known as an SME, a subject matter expert in project management speak, where I would have been dealing with business analysts and project managers from the business side. I found that far more interesting than the business as usual type work. I liked the implementation of new systems and operational systems, as well as technological systems. So I got an opportunity to go to the UK and work in consulting, where I started working as a business analyst myself on the finance side, gathering requirements and prioritizing and project management. Really, I've always kind of maintained continuous learning. So I had done project management. I had done a diploma in investment fund services. So I worked mainly in banking, but I got an opportunity to work with World First. We were a fintech. And I think it was there where a kind of a spark went, where I felt, I could probably do something along the lines of product here. They had the best in the business in product. So I had, I was coming in as a BA / project manager in the finance department, I suppose, for this organization, and they were heavily focused on product. So they would have known that my background wouldn't have been heavily focused on product. So I got some really good training there. So I think that's kind of, I went on to work for NatWest and RBS for a few years after that, which was more back to the banking. But I still kind of felt that training and being in that environment kind of led to me thinking I could build something myself, or build a team that could build something and do it right here from Ireland.
Very good, thank you.
Cormac, what is it that Banba does, but more crucially, what is it that you do from the founder side of
it? So Banba is an order and pay app for the hospitality industry. We're trying to build a marketplace whereby a consumer can walk into a cafe or pub, have the app, and order to their table, or order to a counter, or also they can order click and collect and takeaway and delivery, but at far more competitive prices, and no charges at all to the consumer. So it's about creating value in a place where there's the hospitality industry needed to lean on some larger marketplaces, and they were very expensive. So we felt we could address this gap in the market, really. What I do myself as a founder is I don't code obviously, and we have very experienced, like my co-founders, Mick Corcoran and Selçuk Yücel. They do the tech side, they do the coding. I would be in charge of a lot of the requirements. However, as a founder, you do absolutely everything from sending out marketing collateral to sales, finance, legal, everything. You do everything and anything at this stage anyway. So it's hard to nail down exactly what I do. Anything from fundraising, sales, whatever needs to be done, I suppose. Wherever they're stuck, we all have to jump in, and it's kind of all consuming. So you really have to be passionate about it. And my fellow founders and myself and everybody else in the team, there's no lack of passion for this project, which we need.
Can I just ask you, what is your take on what makes a successful start?
For something like ours, I would say, I think you're always striving for product market fit, which is probably startup speak is boring to most people, but it's basically the carrot at the end of the stick for all of us. And I think it's I'm not sure you can ever really get there. I think you're always striving to improve it one way or another. But the closer you get to that, I think you can call yourself successful. You build a product that the market wants. You're examining the market, looking at the gaps at what they need, and can you match those needs with your product. So I think that would be the mark of a successful startup, in my opinion.
And Cormac, from our series of interviews with a lot of founders now, there's three common ingredients seem to be popping up all the time, which is passion, purpose, and experience. I suppose what drives you?
I suppose, as I alluded to earlier, I always wanted to do something for myself, and I thought it would be for a long time in hospitality directly. And then with my experience, my various experience from banking to fintech to product, I felt if I could bring all those together, that'll get you to your laptop at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night if you have to, or on a Sunday. But if I'm working for somebody else, and I might not agree with the direction they're going, but it's a paycheck, I'm less likely to do so, I think, in my opinion. So I think what we're doing will really help the hospitality industry, and I think it'll make customers and patrons' lives a lot better also. I think this is what we're doing isn't really revolutionary. We're just, we have Selçuk there, who's a UI expert. We're just gonna do it well. And we're gonna do it in a way that is hopefully increasing, revenues for the clients, and making the experience all the better for our customers and clients, our customers and venues. So that's inspirational to me, the fact that we could help. I know there's a lot of skepticism. People, personally, I don't want people in their phones when they're in a cafe or in a bar, but this is happening. So we think if it's an Irish team putting this together, we'll be cognizant of the experience, the hospitality experience you get in Ireland. So we won't, we've got repeat last order. We've got everything to be as quick as possible, so that when you're going through your order, you're not staying in your phone, you're not hanging around in there, you're back to your conversation, and what you're taking out is the payment experience, the queuing and the payment experience. No one goes out to a bar to queue and to pay. That's not something they enjoy doing, So we're trying to take that bit away to increase their increase their enjoyment of their evening, their day, their event, whatever it's at. And then on the staff side, we would encourage more engagement with the staff. If you've got a bar, for example, that's 4 deep, your staff are not having chats with the customers. They're not, and that's what we want them to do. We want them to be speaking to their customers, and they don't have to, if you think about how many minutes it takes to take a payment, and how many orders you have over the evening, if you can take all of that away, your staff now have all this extra time to focus on the customer, focus on hospitality, focus on interaction. And we find, and that for me is moving is managing the movement of this technology into this industry in a good way, as opposed to separating people from the staff, separating customers from the staff. I can't remember what you asked me now. I hope I didn't go off track there.
Cormac, I think it's a really timely and a really good way. Personally, I would use it myself. I mean, it's very similar to being sitting inside and calling Uber rather than being out on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Shaking your hand up and down, looking for a cab. I mean, it is bringing a much better experience to somebody in a bar or restaurant, that they don't have to break away from the conversation to go up and spend 20 minutes queuing. I think it's fantastic.
Exactly, yeah. That's exactly my thoughts as well.
Yeah,
Very.
So well done. A very nice question, if you don't mind, is if you were to go back to when you were 18, I know that's only yesterday, but if you were to go back when you were 18 and write yourself a letter, to try and get ahead of all the learnings you've had between then and now, what would you write yourself in, say, the top 3 things? What would you tell yourself?
I think one thing I'd tell myself is to go and live in another European country, or experience other cultures professionally. I think earlier, like when you go straight out of college, you don't really have work or professional experience. I think I went to Dublin. I think I probably would have liked to go to France or Germany or Italy and or Spain and nail down a language or two and understand other cultures. Might not really have much to do with entrepreneurship, but it's definitely a life experience I would have liked to have. I think I would have tried to give myself a little bit more confidence in what is possible to achieve. I think as you get older and you start, you're leaving cert and your college isn't the end of your career aspirations. And I think there's often a kind of finalization at that point that we feel as Irish people. Sometimes you didn't get 600 points in your leaving cert. That's it. Forget about this job or that job. I would say that's not true. And yeah, maybe learn some coding.
Very interesting.
Well done, well done. Cormac, just before we wrap up, I have one little question for you, a very important one. The name Banba, how did you arrive?
Well, we started with another name, and somebody else had something similar in the UK with it. So we wanted something Irish and something catchy. Banba was an old pagan Irish goddess, the last goddess to arrive on the shores before the flood, apparently. So yeah, we just wanted something Irish, something catchy, something with a bit of soul. So we had a few names bandied about, and we all agreed that this was the one we should go for.
Yeah, it's very catchy, and obviously you arrived on the shores just before COVID, so I suppose it's all very, very, very similar. Yeah.
Just before the
goddesses don't queue for their drinks either. So
yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Cormac, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on Startup Secrets, and we very much appreciate your story, and we wish you absolute success for the future to you and all the team.
Thank you very much, Mike. Very appreciate that. Thank you.
Well done, Cormac.
Thank you.
Well done.